Politicians won't go to court if judiciary is fair, upright. Ex-President Jonathan. This sounds upright. Ex-President Jonathan. All right, let's go to other issues. Let's bygone be bygone. Akpabio advises as Ningi returns from suspension. Abdul Ningi is back from suspension. Okay, you know the what do you call you pose this thing again? Oh Jesus, the budget padding minister, senator. All right, landlord slums dies during argument with tenants. This is supposed to be a step down conversation, but man, it's too serious because it's got to do with life, so we just move it to other conversations. And then Rivers, 3 feared dead as tanker explosion rocks Port Harcourt, River State. And then 6 injured as bandits attack Benue community. As a matter of fact, another bandit attack as bandits abduct 26 villagers, rustle several cows in fresh invasion of Niger communities. Lagos. These are the hot topics that we have. But you know what, as usual, let's take a very quick breather. We'll be right back as we begin to dissect these and other conversations very shortly. This is 90.3 Voice of the People FM. We'll be back shortly.
Listen to hot critical analysis and top trending topics of the day. Join Precious, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on The Evening Rush.
The Evening Rush with Precious. All right, amazing evening to you. Welcome once again. This is 90.3 Voice of the People of Money. Still Evening Rush. Radio Girl Precious. 24 minutes past the 7 p.m. mark. Sincere apologies for starting behind schedule. So let's get started very quickly. I promise not to waste your time today, so you can get your thoughts flowing in at exactly 8 o'clock. So let's begin with the issue that's got to do with the minimum wage conversation. All right, so moving on with the conversation this evening, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, to present the cost implications for a new minimum wage within 2 days. How much it will cost the country to pay new minimum wage? Oh yeah, make sure that you give me the amount in 2 days. So Tinubu gave the order at a meeting with the government negotiation team led by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this in an interview with correspondents after the closed door meeting today, Tuesday. So Idris said the president had a meeting with the representatives of the federal government in the negotiation with the labor on the minimum wage. So he noted that the president has just summoned a meeting of all those who negotiated on behalf of the federal government, led by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. The Minister of Finance was there, the Minister of Budget Planning, the Minister of Information, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, the Minister of Labour, and the NNPCLGMD. Because now from the oil money, they go from PILB now. So you get to day there. So quoting him further, he says, we were all there to look at all issues, and the President has directed the Minister of Finance to do the numbers and get back to him between today and tomorrow so that we can have figures ready for negotiation with Labour. You'll recall that Labour had suspended their strike for 5 days. The strike was supposed to be indefinite, but following the agreement reached with Labour yesterday evening, Labour has said, you know what, okay, let's hold on, because government is telling them, you know what, you guys shoot your sword first of all. Let's plan. Just give us some time. 7 days. If you give us time, we'll not answer on that. Then make on a no. So Labour they had to shit their side. But then again, there are other issues surrounding the minimum wage. Some have been against the labor and saying that, you know what, you guys didn't do well at all. Why did you guys have to suspend the strike? But other Nigerians are also lauding the labor union. As activists there, Deji Adeyanju has commended the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, NLC, for employing a good strategy in their push for a new minimum wage. Now, recall that organized labor embarked on an indefinite strike on Monday to protest for the low wages of workers in the country. So, frowning at the current high cost of living in the country, organized labor demanded 494,000 naira as minimum wage, as against 30,000 naira, and of course the 60,000 naira that government has offered. Okay, so after Monday's meeting between government representatives and organized labor, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, George Akume, disclosed that the federal government is committed to paying a minimum wage higher than 60,000 naira, but he did not state exactly how much. But he said figures will be made known to labor. Now, the meeting between the representatives of the labor and government and the organized labor resulted in the suspension of industrial action today, Tuesday. So, posting on his ex handle, Adeyanju wrote that Nigerian labor workers to NLC and TUC well played organized labor, good strategy on the minimum wage issue. Nigerians are behind you. Please don't fold or disappoint them this time. Aluta continua. Now, I have joining me in the studio Prince Francis Chilaka. Prince Francis, good evening and thank you so much for joining. Welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
Thank you. So let's get straight to this. A lot of people have been saying, oh, why would Labour have the mind to seek for 494,000 naira? It was that yesterday that that Joe Ajero and the rest of them came out with figures of what they thought or they said or they alleged were the salaries or take home of National Assembly members, Senators, House of Rep members. Some of them take home, according to him, as much as 29 million naira, 15 million, and all of that. Which is a very far cry if you measure it to what Nigerians are earning. In fact, because of this conversation, right, I have spoken to a congressman of the United States tomorrow. I will be having, he'll be joining me here tomorrow. And let's first of all, we said we borrowed this our democracy from them. So let's find out if the kind of disparity we have between our leaders and the ledge also exists in the US, because when you borrow something, it's good you copy and copy match numbers so that your copywriting will be very, very good. But going straight to the conversation, why does it seem like it's so much of a big deal and people were almost against labor for saying that they had the guts to seek for $494, while others are saying that, you know what, if you compare it with how much they say politicians are looting allegedly, that means it's worth it. I like you to help us dissect what you think the public opinion.
Yes, I'm not going to start with looting because you have no figures, you have no justification, you have no legal backing for looting. We know that looting, call it whatever you want to call it corruption, but it boils down to what? Stealing. So yes, practically what those who believe they are looting our resources are doing is that they are stealing, they are thieves. They are equivalent to armed robbers. It's just unfortunate that the law we have is such that they always get away from it. They always commit these offenses and they run away from it.
So, Prince Francis, we have to take a break. One is never guilty until proven otherwise by a court of competent jurisdiction. So we cannot actually say.
When you see, this is where we have a problem in this country. Each time we keep saying court of competent jurisdiction. How many cases have EFCC won? Over the past how many years? How many? Yet we know that these monies are stolen by our so-called leaders or rulers, as I would want to call them. We know that they're the ones, stealing. They're not hiding it. I mean, was it not yesterday also they published something about on the former AGF, Malami also, that they were returning some amount of money. So Nigeria has become.
Is that why he wasn't invited like Emefiele was?
No. Nigeria has become a country where, when you want to steal from government, say 10 million, you budget 3 million for case, and then when the case is going on, you offer government out of the remaining 7 million. You say, government, I can give you 2 million and let this case die, and that is what has been playing out. We have not gotten to that point where there is punishment for any offense committed, especially by the leadership. The leadership has not been setting the right example. And that is why the country is, going down on a daily basis. We need to have a law that punishes everyone, especially the leaders, because they are the role model. Whatever they do and they go scot-free, the citizens will follow suit. But if there are laws that punishes leaders more than the ordinary citizens, I am telling you, a lot of things will work out. Now, bringing us back to the issue of wages and for labor and all of that. You know, when people chastise labor, when ignorantly come out and, you know, try to tell labor that, well, why are you going on strike? Why are you demanding for this? But these same people go to the same market. These are same people who are crying every day that things are difficult in this country.
Okay, so speaking about difficulty of things, we do know that in recent times we've had salaries go from, I think, 7,000. In fact, was it even 5,000 from Obasanjo's time to 7,500 to about 12,000 naira till it progressed to 30,000 naira of that of Obasanjo. So, if we compare the amount, what's the comparison with what those minimum wage can afford then and what it can afford now? You know, and we in relation with the US dollars, which of course is what we have to judge it by, because most of our I mean, we're an export dependent country, so most of the things that we consume we export. Because if you look at it, because a lot of people are thinking that an import dependent country, I beg your pardon, because a lot of people think that labor is being a bit too rigid by not shifting grants. Remember when they went for the first 650,000 or minimum wage, they said the reason is because this is how much the cost of electricity will cost us, cost of housing, cost of feeding, cost of transportation, cost of clothing, cost of this and that and that and that. And they laid out the indices and they said this is how we came to the figure. But with this amount that the federal government is proposing, even if it gets to 100,000 naira, with the present situation of the country, what do you think if we compare it to what the other minimum wage or wages could afford in the past?
Okay, let us start from the time of Jonathan. He moved it up to 18,900. And, you know, as at that time, you ask yourself, how much is a cup of rice? How much is a cup of gari? How much is a loaf of bread? How much is a bag of gari and rice? How much were items going for in the market? And as at that time, you know, don't also forget that I think the dollar was about 90, 100, and it was about, it gives us 111.
Okay.
Yes, when you convert it, it gives you 11. If you convert the 18,900, it gives you about $112 as at that time.
Okay.
Even though it was not something we should be proud of.
So it was above $100.
No. Don't forget, it's a monthly pay.
That's what I'm saying. So that means the minimum wage then was above $100.
Yes.
Okay.
But then, you know, life was far, far better. Things were available. We didn't have the kind of insecurity we have today. We didn't have the kind of, high cost of living. People were not feeling, people could not complain because you could just go to the market, you have 5 naira, you can buy something of 5 naira, you can buy something of 10 naira, you can buy something of 15 naira. So people did not feel the effect. And secondly, the inflation rate then was low. Now, by the time the money got to 30,000 naira, which was during 2019, I think, during
Buhari's
regime, it came to about $90-something, about $98, $97, $98.
Because the dollar has gone an astronomical growth during Buhari.
So you see the difference. From 112, it falls to 98. And what were the parameters also? As at that time too, you know that things were expensive. Things that were getting up, but people could still survive.
But that time that the dollar was about $100, at least that $100 was able to buy at least 2, 3, 4 bags of rice. Was it able to?
It was because rice,
I know a loaf of bread was about 150, 200 then.
You could even get 15 naira bread. You get 100 naira bread.
Oh wow!
Yes. You could. It was not that you could. It was there. Things like plantain, yam, they were not. You go to the market, you're buying a tube of yam for 500 naira, 400 naira. It was easy for families to survive. But now, looking at 30,000 naira between 2019 and today the dollar is about 1,500 and plus. So what it means is that by the time you pay somebody 60,000 naira in a month, he's probably earning $64 in a month. What do you think that money could serve? What do you think a man with a wife and 4 kids can get out of 60,000 naira? A bag of rice today is about 80,000 naira. Most families cannot even afford gari, because now a pint of gari is about 4,500.
So are we saying we have to put all of this into consideration before we increase the minimum wage? How much that minimum wage can afford a family? If we go by that, how is the federal government going to survive this? Because
okay, let me tell you how the federal government will survive it.
Okay.
What stops the federal government from cutting salaries of all, including Mr. President, by 40%? What stops it? Why must
salaries or allowances here?
Everything together,
including salaries
yes,
and allowances.
Why must a senator earn about 1.something million a month? And you're telling me, oh, the number of people earning it is not much. That's not a good excuse. The point is, pay people something that is reasonable. Inflation is about 33.3%. So these are parameters that needs to be taken into consideration. And that is why I support Labour. When Labour said to the negotiating team, you want to offer us 60,000, break it down. Let us see. I know that whatever Labour agrees with the federal government is going to affect the private sector, because there are more people employed in the private sector than you have in government. So what it means is that whatever reduce 30,000 naira a month, have a traffic offense, and then they are collecting 20,000 naira from you. Last month will hold your car down, they're collecting 50,000 naira from you. So how do you want the man to survive?
So the value of the currency has declined.
We all know it has declined. A loaf of bread now is between 1,500 and 2,000 naira.
True that.
So how do you want a family to survive? In other words, when this government is tactically pushing people further into poverty. Today we do not have a middle class in Nigeria. We have the super rich, the super poor, and the poor of the poorest. Yes, that's what we have.
All of us like this, na poverty holos.
Everybody in Nigeria today is, yesterday I stopped at the pharmacy to buy a drug. The drug I used to buy it 3,500, and they told me 12,000 naira, and they didn't blink their eyes. It's either you want to buy it or you don't buy it. So government needs to begin to, I keep saying, government needs to begin to think about the people, the welfare of the people. If the people are not there, who will you govern? You're going to govern woods, you're going to govern waters. So we need to begin to think, how do we help our people? One, government should stop this whole shenanigans of, cash transfer to anybody.
They've started those.
It is total waste and corruption. You don't go and borrow money from a bank and dash it out without having plans of how to pay it back.
But we have big countries abroad paying people who don't work. Is it not the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing.
Yes,
it's not the same thing. Because when each time that ministry of parastatal is always talking about poorest of the poor. Who are the poorest of the poor? What database are you working with? If government is saying, because you're unemployed, this is the number of unemployed youths, unemployed adults in Nigeria, and you know that those figures are right, and you say you want to, give them something until they get employed, it's a different thing. But you keep using a language that is demeaning to the Nigerian people. Poorest of the poor. Who are they? Who made them poor?
Because I'm also thinking about it.
It is because of bad governance.
Should we not be part of the poorest of the poor?
It is because of bad governance. It is because of corruption. It is because of lack of inclusiveness. Our government do not listen. Our government do not think they've never asked the Nigerian people, what do you want? The government has consistently decided what they would give to the Nigerian people. This is not what governance is all about. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, Labour, everybody, every right-thinking Nigerian would support Labour. But I am one of those saying that 400,000 is not realistic.
All right. So do you think that it was fair? It was a wise decision for them to, suspend the strike for 5 days?
Yes, I think it is. I strongly support them for that, because if you if you are going for negotiation, you don't close your doors and windows, you keep them open. That's what negotiation is all about. And when the negotiations fell apart and they decided to embark on strike, and government now called them back and say, let us continue this negotiation. It's better to judge than to war. So I am totally in support of labor calling off the strike.
All right, great. So let's quickly move on to other conversations so we can have Nigerians job. Good news. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has named the recently inaugurated arterial road 20 naira from Northern Parkway to Outer Northern Expressway on X as Professor Wole Soyinka Highway.
Oh, well,
so Professor Wole Soyinka
I guess Wole Soyinka has been paid for his attacks on the obedience and Obi in particular. Yes,
I don't understand.
That is what it is. That is settlement, and this is what is keeping this country backwards. This is why this country is not developing. I've been expecting to see his commentary on the first year anniversary of this government. He has not said that. I remember he said to Nigerians that 100 days is too early, 3 months is too early. That he was going to come out to tell Nigerians 101, and when this government is a year old, we haven't heard from him since then. Since government became,
you think his calmness is political?
It is completely. Everything he has done in the last 1 year is political. Everything Wole Soyinka, a man I respect so much, has done is totally. It is unlike him.
Do you think he's been deliberately attacking Peter Obi?
Yes,
some of the comments he made.
I think to a large extent he's becoming he's going towards ethnic lines. That is what he's doing. A man of his own age and status should be upright. He should speak as an elder. All right, but he's not doing that.
So let's move straight to the former President Goodluck Jonathan, as he said that many politicians will not approach the court if the judiciary has been fair and upright in tackling election disputes.
We know the judiciary has been compromised.
When I read this, I had to read it again and read it again and read it again. I'm like, so does it mean the judiciary hasn't been fair in its judgment?
It's not fair.
All these years. Well, let me quickly read through what he said. He said, he made this statement today in Asaba while at the inauguration of the State High Court complex. However, he said, my thinking is that 50% of those who go to court because they felt they were cheated by the electoral management system, they were rigged out. He said, when you feel naturally aggrieved, you have to go to court. So assuming the elections are properly conducted, they know they failed the election, but they feel they can use the judiciary to declare themselves winner. So if the judiciary doesn't declare them or declare who doesn't win the election that they are winners, that's many 50% will not go to court at all. So he said in South Africa, the electoral management body will never compromise. They all know if you lose the election, you just wait for the next election. Generally, you don't need to go to court. But because if you go to court, the judiciary will not compromise, so you will not get anything out of it. You kukuma respect yourself and stay one place. But in Nigeria, it doesn't look like same as a case. This is deep. I read the unspoken words in this conversation.
It's deep, and that is why I keep saying that Jonathan is one president that saw beyond what every other person saw, but he couldn't act because he's not a typical politician. Unfortunately, those who used propaganda to push him out of office are in office today, and yet they're still living and thriving on propaganda. The judiciary, we all know, has been compromised from head to toe. I mean, we saw what happened when a senator said that the wife used, his wife, who has retired from appeal court, was busy. Yes, that the wife was busy helping out some of his friends, and nobody investigated the matter. Nobody took it up. In the same claim, that man would come to explain. Even the wife. Cases that were handled by the wife will be reviewed seriously. So the judges we have in Nigeria, they need to go and think and ask themselves, just as the Mr. President has unilaterally with the National Assembly changed the national anthem because he says it is his priority, he believes it is something that will change Nigeria. I hope that change will also change the mindset of the judiciary to always do the right thing. I mean, we all witnessed what happened in Lagos during the governorship election. We saw how people were denied their fundamental human right, and nothing happened.
So you agree in totality what the former president has said?
And you know, I need to quickly add this, Precious.
Okay, sir.
I find it very worrisome to a large extent that it is only when our leaders step down that they begin to see what we the people are seeing, and they begin to say the truth as it should be. So I keep asking myself, what is it in the presidency that makes them not see these things that we see? I mean, take for instance, you know, the President Bola Tinubu telling the committee telling the Minister for Budget, isn't it, to submit details, the figures.
No, Minister for Finance.
To submit figures, you know, in 24 or 48 hours. And I ask myself, all this while they were been negotiating, have they not been carrying Mr. President along? Why making it as if Mr. President has not been in this country? Why making it look something as if Mr. President is not even aware of what the committee he personally set up has been doing? So a lot is wrong. It's either there is a disconnect between the president and his team and the people, or some people are not just being truthful to Mr. President as well. So for Mr. President to begin to ask for figures now, it shows you that there's a lot that has gone wrong.
All right, so let's move on to other issues. Senate President Goodluck Akpabio today Tuesday urged Bauchi Central Senator Abdul Ningi to let bygone be bygone. Akpabio spoke as Ningi resumed at the Senate after a 3-month suspension. You would recall that in March, the Senate suspended Ningi for 3 months over his allegation of budget padding. His suspension followed an interview with BBC Hausa where he claimed that the federal government was operating two versions of the 2024 budget. Ningi claimed that the 28.7 trillion budget passed by the National Assembly and signed into law by President Bola Tinubu was skewed against the North. Following his suspension, he was recalled on May 28 after the Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Abba Moro, initiated a process expressing regret on his behalf. He, however, resumed at the National Assembly today, Tuesday, after the organized labor suspended its strike. So addressing the Senate, Ningi expressed appreciation for his recall after spending 75 out of the 90 days suspension period. Finish. Ningi said, Mr. President, in fact, bottom line, so he apologized, and then the bygone is bygone now. Interesting, isn't it?
Well,
so where then lies that accusation?
Good. That is where I'm coming to. Bygone is bygone, and the Senate President is saying that to the nation. Let the bygone be bygone. It's like telling somebody you have slapped or somebody you've hurt. You say forgive and forget. You are not asking what about the bruises.
He's even thanking Akpabio for calling him back, and the entire Senate for calling him back.
No, but that is, you expect that from him. But the question is, where lies the truth? Where lies, has any proper investigation been conducted? Are we not saying that all that he said should be thrown into the dustbin and forgotten? You beat up somebody, you injure somebody, you abuse somebody, and you say, forgive and forget. And the person is saying, what about the bruises? Nigerians are asking the Senate President, what about the bruises? What about the shame such allegations brought to the Senate and to the Nigerian people? So we should also forget it. It boils down to the fact of what I was saying earlier. We have a system that protects people when they go wrong. We should have a system that does not protect. We should have a system that runs independent of Mr. President, the Senate President, and the governors. Until we have such a system in place, we cannot say that Nigeria is moving forward. We cannot. It is painful. It is so shameful that things would happen, even at the Senate, where we expect them to be upright. For them, it's either they're sending emails to people's boxes, or they're pardoning somebody for raising an issue, or you're shouting you down for trying to expose one or two things. Okay. The Senate needs to be upright for Nigeria to
the years having it even when the names' voices are
exactly.
louder. Okay. All right. So let's move on to River State, where we hear that 3 persons are feared dead after a liquefied petroleum gas LPG tanker exploded at the Obiri Query flyover in Rumosi, Obiakwa local government area of River State. So it was gathered that the incident happened at around 9:30 a.m. today. An eyewitness said the tanker was on high speed, lost balance, and fell on a taxi. He claimed that 3 persons in the vehicle were burnt to death. Residents around the area said they felt an earth tremor, thinking a dynamite had exploded. One of them said, "My husband told me to lay on the floor in case it is dynamite." Our house was shaking. So the Federal Fire Service arrived the scene later to reduce the impact of the explosion. So 3 people lost their lives.
Yeah,
now, you could speedily trace this to carelessness from the driver.
We I think in Lagos State a few years back, it was introduced that tankers shouldn't move during the day.
And I thought they had speed limit, because this one it was clearly stated that he was on high speed.
Well, no, there's no control. Nobody's checking them. Even the road safety you have on the road, they are more interested in private vehicles than what commercial and truck drivers do. So that's the problem. It's unfortunate that people have lost their lives, carelessness and all of that. But we all should be more careful on the roads. No matter what we're carrying, no matter what we're doing, we should realize that the life of the next person matters. Everybody on the road, your life matters. Let us be more cautious and observe speed limits. And I don't know where a tanker will be, why a tanker will be speeding so high.
That's exactly my point.
I don't understand.
I thought they're supposed to have speed limits.
I don't really
especially for
understand.
such articulated vehicles.
So it's unfortunate, but then it also shows you the laxity in those who are meant to monitor and supervise them.
All right, so let's go to Ogun State, where a very not so funny incident happened. So we heard that a landlord named Ape Benjamin has been reported dead after a heated argument with his tenant in Aribabu village in Shotubu, Ogun State. So it was reported that the argument was triggered by the tenant's unpaid rent. The tenant, simply identified as Emmanuel, had in the process threatened to kill the landlord. Why they ginger me for house rent? So the Ogun State Police Command yesterday Monday said the landlord slumped and died at about 6:30 a.m. on Sunday. Omolala Odutola, the command spokesperson, assured the investigation were on to ascertain the actual cause of death. Now, one Ape Benjamin of Aribabu village, Shotubu, Ogun State, a landlord slumped and died at about 6:30 hours on 2nd June over a heated argument with one Emmanuel, his tenant, who threatened to kill his landlord over indebted rent. Investigation is still on.
Well, for me, it's unfortunate the landlord passed on, but I keep saying people should learn to apply emotional intelligence when dealing with one another. Unfortunately, Nigeria is a country where a lot of landlords do not think about what their tenants are going through. For them, they will tell you, "Well, I'm not government. It's not my business. Government did not build my house for me." And it brings us back to the issue of the minimum wage.
But did government build the houses for them?
No, you see, this is where when people talk about governance, I like to bring some people into perspective. The late Lateef Jakonde of Lagos, he built houses. He created opportunity for people to have an option of where to live. If you want to get a place, say like the ones in Osborne Road, if you need a place there, and they're telling you other houses are 500,000 a month, those low-cost houses are going for 250 a year. He has created an option for you, and that option is for you to be able to take a rent where you are able to pay for. But you see, today we do not have any control. The landlords wake up, they increase their rents. They don't care whether you have the money to pay or not. Yes, there's always room for a landlord and a tenant to have argument and all of that. But I'm happy that there's nowhere in the report that it was said that the tenant attacked the landlord. But at least
he threatened him.
Well, that is word of mouth. What is the evidence? The man could have slumped maybe because of heart failure and all of that. So may his soul rest in peace.
Amen. Very sad. So let's quickly go to other insecurity incidents. So first in Benue State, we hear 6 persons sustained injuries as bandits attacked Ansa village in Makudi local government area of Benue State today, Tuesday. Ansa village is the host community of the Joseph Sarwan Tarka University, just in Makudi. So it was gathered that the attackers stormed the community at about 1 a.m. while some traders who usually close late were still at their shops. According to resources who pleaded anonymity, the bandits stormed the community and started attacking residents. They brutally wounded the people and most of them were hospitalized. About 6 persons had died. 6 persons had their bodies cut and one had his finger cut and he was seen on the ground. That is the finger drop for ground. He also heard they went to cabs to inflict injury on some persons there. Soldiers came that night shooting and they ran away. It was learned that angry youths blocked the road for hours, burning tires, the sources said. Okay, so newsmen tried to reach Governor Hyacinth Alia and he said we heard he's giving 2 weeks ultimatum to herders to vacate the state, but the armed herders have continued to launch attacks in the state. I'm coming. Let me quickly just go to Niger State and I get back to this Benue State issue. So in Benue State, in Niger State, the case isn't different, as again we hear the bandits have abducted no fewer than 26 persons in Niger communities. So the incident occurred in Mashegu and Shiruru local government areas of the state, Monday and Sunday. According to newsmen, it was reliably gathered that the bandits stormed a village called Adogo Malam, during which 6 people were kidnapped. Similarly, another set of bandits also invaded the Tunga Kawu community, just about 3 kilometers away from Mashegu on Monday. Then 20 persons were confirmed to have been abducted during the invasion, while several cows were rustled. The bandits are yet to enter into negotiations with families of those abducted, where their whereabouts are also yet unknown. Again, another problem. No, back to Benue State. You'd recall that one of the reasons why, or one of the things we kept hearing or recurring issues in the news during the last administration in Benue State was because there was this anti-grazing law, where the former governor then, Samuel Otom, said, you know what, no open grazing to avoid problem. You cannot be bringing your cows to be eating up our crops. And there was almost an open confrontation with headers then,
especially
Mieti Allah, when they said, there were even open threats, that happened a lot. But we thought that with the coming of the new governor, who's a reverend father, by the way, that the situation will be calmer. But it looks like it's not getting any calm at all.
Precious, how can it be calmer?
Why shouldn't it be?
Well, why? You mean because he's a reverend father, he will be using prayer to stop herdsmen from committing havoc or what?
He would sue for peace.
What peace? In what way?
You don't
sue for peace with somebody who comes to your house with a knife or a gun to take your life. There's no peace. And I think it is time people, especially in Benue State, begin to arm themselves to teeth and defend themselves. We can't wake up every day and villagers are sacked, farmers are killed, people are kidnapped, and nobody's doing anything about it. Meanwhile, your soldiers are in Abia looking for people who unfortunately killed Nigerian soldiers. I feel so bad about that soldiers were killed. But this is to show you how many civilians get killed each day in the states, and nobody is doing anything about it. In other words, the life of the civilian does not matter. What matters is the life of the soldier. So I think that, government should re-strategize with her security architecture. Something is definitely wrong. And I don't know why this open grazing should continue anywhere in Nigeria. If you have cows, go and build a ranch for your cows. This is what is done in civilized societies. And I don't even know when herders started carrying guns and all of that. Are you not telling me that those guys who take these cows out are the owners of these cows? Let those who own these cows, these people that own these cows, have a lot of money. They are the millionaires and the billionaires we have. How much will it cost them to buy a land and build a ranch? To stop all this madness. The rate at which people have been killed in this country is alarming. It is so shameful. It's like we're in a banana republic. Government needs to live up to its responsibility of securing the lives and properties of the Nigerian people. This is their primary duty. And that is the primary duty that Mr. President should hold on to. And not the change of the national anthem. The national anthem that has been changed has not stopped bandits from causing havoc. It has not stopped bandits from going to sack villagers and killing people. We should set our priorities right in this country.
All right, thank you. Lagos phone lines are now open. Let's begin to take your thoughts. It's exactly 3 minutes past 8 o'clock. I promise you I'll try to be as quick as possible with this, right? I hope I was able to meet up that time. Phone lines are now open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903 if you're calling us on a direct call. But if you're calling the WhatsApp line, it is 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening and welcome.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing okay. How about you?
Well done, ma.
Thank you, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Victor. I'm calling from Mushin.
Victor, you're welcome.
We thank the Prince for all the analysis he has done in total.
Thank you.
It's very, very, very correct. Let me start. When Jakande was the governor of Lagos State, he built some houses in Lagos State. The total amount of the houses are 6,000 by then. And you say instrumentally, you own the house and the beneficiary as the solo. The total cost was 6,000. And you have to pay bit by bit for years. That will tell you that Jakande, as the masses in Lagos State that asked these houses for them. Then concerning the foundation of this regime in Buhari, it was built on defeat, cheating, stealing. He just mentioned any evil. That is the continuation we have today. And concerning the government, from the presidency to the local government area, at least in the government area, they should cut their salary by 50% so that those who are not in government services, you can emulate from them and things can calm down. It is the cost of running the government in Nigeria from the local government. I don't know, from before the chairman or whatever, there are some people doing nothing. Doing nothing, they are just investing, stealing the money. And also, those judiciary, INEC, whatever, they failed us. That's the result. Whatever you plant, if you plant corn, you will see corn, not banana, not beans. It's what they plant, those in power now, and those in power, it's what they are reaping. So that's my own contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, Lucas. Hello. Okay. Phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Yes, please. Welcome.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Very well. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Dima calling from Ago.
Dima calling from Ago.
Agodo.
From Agodo. Can you help me increase the volume of your voice a bit?
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me better?
Well, I wish you can speak up a lot more, though. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, I just joined the show, but I'd like saying about these headsmen or whatever they call themselves. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
So, the thing is this. Somebody said something today, though I didn't hear it from anywhere else, that Adeboye was urging Nigerians to pray for Nigeria and the kind of governance they are giving us. And I think this is part of the problem, because people who has voice, instead of saying what is needful or what is So, and let me just say something that will resonate to the current situation. They will be talking from the other side of their mouth. Is this a situation of prayer? Just like what the guest said, that your guest said. Is the kidnapping and all of that in Benue State and all, whatever northern side, is it going to stop because this man is a reverend father? No. We shouldn't do the needful in this country. And this thing is I'm seeing something in this Lagos. Whenever you go to all these parks, you see all these malams around in their numbers, and nobody is putting eye in what they are doing, their activity. This is how they invade a country. This is how they invade a state. This is what they do, and we are just playing with the situation as if nothing is going on.
Well, how would you be putting your eyes into the activities of a Nigerian living in Nigeria? There are Nigerians living in Nigeria. Should that be a problem?
This is the issue. We know where these things are coming from, and our people are being killed on a daily basis. I have people in Benue State. That's why I'm so concerned. Yes, and Nigerians have been dying because of this set of people, and we know where they are coming from. We know where they are coming from. I think it's right time that everybody, just like your guest rightly said, arm yourself to the teeth. Since the government are less concerned about our plight and everything we are facing in this country, it's alarming. It's very, very alarming. You've lived in a place you've known as your land for how many years, and somebody just comes in any time and forcefully, drive you out of that place, taking everything you've worked for, and it keep happening every day as if it's a normal thing. And we know the set of people doing this. We know where they are coming from. Let's forget about all this hanky-panky. We know what is going on. I'm seeing it around Lagos State. They are camping everywhere in numbers. Nobody knows them. Nobody knows what they do. And we are just looking around. It will soon start in this Lagos State. And if we go clear for everybody, there been a prayer, we'll go to pray.
No, nothing will start in Jesus' name. Oh, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Hello,
good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Welcome.
Mr. Precious, how are you?
So I'm very well, thank you. Thank you.
Barrister Darlington, how are you?
It's not Barrister Darlington, it's Prince Francis Chilaka.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, I'm very grateful for your concern, all your efforts in this country. See, Benue, if Benue government will tell us truth, have the numbers of people that were killed under 8 years or 9 years now, it will be alarmed. This is what Nnamdi Kanu saw. If not the Nnamdi Kanu that bring out ESN, Eastern or Igbo land for be like Benue. They hold that man there seriously because he exposed their plan. Before, when I was a kid, I am about 56 years now. When I was a kid, when you see Fulani herdsmen, now stick they carry, if they hold them for harm. How come about carrying AK-47 and killing people every minute of the day, and yet government is doing nothing about it? This is not prayer issue. This is something serious people, government will talk about. Not the national anthem. We are dying in this country. Let them come out and tell us the secret they have. Maybe they are keeping a particular secret that they doesn't want to expose in Nigeria. Let them tell us now. Before now, stick 9 headmen they carry. They go to anywhere they want. Nobody care about them because they are holding stick. Why? How come they are carrying gun anyhow? Changing from here to there, killing people, wasting lives. Let them release Nnamdi Kanu. That man doesn't do anything. He didn't do anything now. Let them release that man, not because he said the truth. Thank you, my sister, and God bless you.
All right, thank you so much for calling us. Hello, good evening to you. Well, just want to reiterate that people's opinions here in no way does it represent that of the station, just so you know. People are just airing their thought, but also try to apply some decorum when you do so. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, my sister Precious and Prince Chilaka. Good evening.
Welcome.
I'm calling from Germany. Yeah, regarding about the labor issues and the humongous money that our politicians are receiving salaries. I mean, Nigerian politicians. Look, an average minister here in Germany, Google is your friend, receives 50,000 K every year, not monthly. That is roughly 6,000 euros. A minister, a serving minister in Germany, and he has no driver. He has no security. Do you know that our German chancellor gets 25,000 euros monthly salary? From that salary, he pays his staffs.
Are you sure that is his staff are not paid by the government?
Okay,
does he have PA? Does he have PAs and SAs?
Excuse me, I think I have to be very honest. I don't know about our chancellor because maybe the driver might be
and then his cooks and others, other people may be paid by
exactly.
Thank
but
you.
Let's be sure. I'm not sure, but his salary is 25,000 K every month. Then members of the parliament, listen to me, they get 11,000 euros every month. They have no driver, they have no secretary, they have nothing. Do you know that some of them, mostly junior ones, they share apartments in Berlin because it is so expensive. They share apartments. Do you know that some of them live outside, almost 60 kilometers outside Berlin, where they can, afford cheaper flats? This is house representatives. And you know that some of them are also members and also ministers, because we have parliamentary system here. So those ones who are ministers and members of the parliament, I don't know how they pay their staffs. But the junior ones, those backbenchers, on 11,000 salary every month, and don't even live in the center of Berlin because they cannot afford it. I had the guy who was representing my county here. He was there for 4 years, and when he lost the re-election, he came back. In fact, he couldn't even afford his apartment again here because by then he has already lost his apartment. He had to go and live with Mr. Andreas. I know him very well. He went and lived many months with his friend called Andreas Kuhlman before he got another apartment. This is how these people are paid here. But in Nigeria, you see how they live, you see their salaries, nobody knows even their salary. Sister Precious, if you doubt me, after your program, go on Google and Google this things I'm telling you. They are there live. You see what a parliamentarian gets here as his salary, what our chancellor gets here. Do you know that here in Germany, some mayors, like if you talk about the big cities like mayor of Hamburg, mayor of Munich, mayor of Düsseldorf, do you know that they get more salary than even our chancellor? Because they control money. Their city is very rich. They are even richer than the governor of the state. Do you know that here in Germany, some local governments are so rich that even the capital goes there to take loan. We have some, like in Germany here, you have some cities, some villages that are well industrialized, that the capital goes there to borrow money. Counties here, communion here are so rich that even the capital are very, very, very poor. This is what is called federation. You don't take money from Lagos to pay somebody in Sokoto. You don't take money from Bayelsa and pay for somebody from Maiduguri. No, Sister Precious, I have lived there for 33 years now by November. Do you know that when we started coming here, that we were working and paying, because that was then German unification. It was very new then. Do you know that we live in the West? We were paying money to build the East, and after 10 years, when the East caught up with the standard, we stopped paying that tax. So everybody's on his own. You don't pay this. Look at what we are talking about. 30,000 naira. It's not even. It's about 20 or 30 euros. Somebody's going home every month. You have your children. They go to school. You are talking about even 60,000 naira. How much is 60,000 naira?
Thank you.
Please, the union should not back down. They should go and demand for their right. It is their right.
Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts.
Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you. All right. So I appreciate that breakdown.
The thing is,
Okay.
when people talk about this minimum wage, I have said and I keep saying that labor should also realize that the number of persons employed by government cannot be compared to the number of persons employed by the private sector. In other words, if you're saying 415,000 per month, that we know, in as much as those in government are going to earn, let it also be something than 50,000 naira, so that organizations that are not under government can be able to find a way around it. And I keep saying, in doing this, when government does this, government should also look at the tax and bring down the tax on businesses, because they are crumbling and closing down because of the high cost of doing business.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Precious.
Hi, John. You're welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I would like to start with what is going on in Benue. I don't know if people are just, I don't know if people, human beings are just there waiting for them to just come and be killed without, defending themselves, because over the months and the years, due to experience, there have been a pattern of behaviors of some certain ethnic groups in a number of negative things about them, because of the pattern of behavior over the years has been accumulated with so much violence that you cannot even comprehend. That being said, I think it's our time people start defending themselves, whatever means necessary, just for you to, because what I see going on in Benue now, it reminds me of what happened within Israel and Palestine. You just come and take people's land, and you expect them not to revolt or not to, fight back. That is one. And two, the guy where you said the landlord slump and die. I have no conversation with his tenants, so some of these our landlords it's more than when the temperature, the pressure is high, and I believe the man is old, so we don't know if he has an internal sickness, you don't know, but just that it will bring fear to the tenant. But threatening someone is not a crime. There's no evidence against the person. It's just that he will be scared, so that they will not put it against him. But my main focus of calling is about the minimum wage. I believe the labor have been realistic enough, saying that they just put in the figures so that they will come into the negotiating table, so that both the private sector and the public sector, they can have an equal goal based on the economic impact in the country. But I think the Minister of Finance and the Labour Minister, I think they are very, very big trouble. Why did I say so? If you are Labour has already presented the fact that if you are going to present us with a figure, you must present a figure with details like housing, fuel, soap, water, fuel, and everything. And you are saying you want to propose 60,000. So, and the problem now is giving 48 hours to bring out a minimum wage with a nation that is not being productive is going to be very, very alarming. And the Minister of Finance, I don't know how much it's going to put out, but Nigeria is in this. Labor just showed the government that we are in big mess because we are not producing. The senators are living large and living fine, making the masses to know that there is money. Why there is no money? You did a supplementary budget just to buy 116 million cars. That is the signal you are showing to the people. And you are saying we cannot pay us our money. So there will be chaos if we are not being careful. Because what I'm emphasizing in my own side is that how much does the Minister of Finance now wants to put on the table to the labor people that it's going to be okay for both parties? It's going to be more than 100,000. It's going to be more than 150,000 because alone, 70,000 naira is how much? A bag of rice.
It's not 70.
It's 80.
Please don't help. Don't insult that 10,000 naira on top of it. I bought two bags for 80,000 naira.
That means I'm not up to
no,
date.
You're not updated. Please. I wish I am too. I just hope I am too. I hope he hasn't added 2,000.
so now I want it to be because there's a difference between realities and facts, and which is what the federal government has to bring on the table. And that is why I used to say I don't know why Peter B is keeping quiet. He came out and said, I want to turn Nigeria into a productive nation. And the masses, what is happening in the north and everything, we're not producing anything. Why can't now, like Tinubu now should look into what can we start producing? Let us start looking at what we can produce so that we will bring this nation forward. Why are we not discussing that? Why? Just think about it. Why are we not discussing?
Thank you.
What can
Thank
we
you, John.
start producing?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening. Oops, help me turn off the volume of the radio set, please. Well, if you don't want to turn it off, kindly call us back when you can. Hello, good evening. Yes, please. Good evening, sir. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
My greeting to your guest.
He can hear you.
Please, I want to say something concerning this minimum wage wahala. Listen me, if labor organizations are not selfish, they should not be thinking only their own money. The fundamental things they're supposed to ask federal government to do.
Like what?
One, electricity tariff to be dropped down.
It's part of it.
Petrol to drop down. Gas to drop down, because if all these things did not come down and they pay them 150,000 naira, it will not do them. Because I will take myself to compare. If I tell you how much are they say in the day, that 100 and something thousand naira is not up to that. School fees never did there. House rent never did there. So they should be realistic.
Oh dear, apologies. Sincere apologies. So sorry about that. Hello, good evening. What's going on? Hello? No, now when you call, please try as much as you can to turn off the volume of your radio set so that we can hear you. All right, that being said, let's see if we can visit some WhatsApp messages while we hope to get in our calls. Leo from Lagos says, Tinubu names Abuja Road after Wole Soyinka, and it will be impossible for some people in Abuja to call the road Wole Soyinka, just like Second Niger Bridge that named after Buhari. Leo from Lagos sent in that. So it will continue to be Second Niger Bridge, Abi. Good evening, Precious. Please, where is former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello? Anapo Kuka. Hey, Anapo, what is your own now? Should be EFCC boss said that no matter what, he will catch him. We're hoping that they're targeting him gradually. Good evening, Precious and Prince Chilaka. The problem with the poorest of the poor is unavailability of credible data. Now, the prince is correct. And you said payment made to the POP is one of the sources of our financial leakages. See why I said that? That payment will be paid to the poorest of the poor. And there the money they from leak, they come out. Kenechuku from First Talk says, we no longer have 4 arms of government anymore. The judiciary have been, in your opinion, and they don't have a say again in Nigeria. I don't see the reason why a judge will pass a judgment to someone, but DSS will go against the judge and nothing will happen at the end of the day. Insane crimes, does that happen? Okay. But these are part of questions I'll just ask the US congressman tomorrow. Let's just even know how things are done in insane country. Or what people used to tell us is just different from what we used to hear, or what we think, some of us think we've experienced in other places may just seem like a deja vu, right? So let's just wait till we hear from horse's mouth and we know if if our head is actually working well, or maybe something is wrong with our head. My former neighbor then will say there is something wrong with the middle of your head. So we'll just know. So this message says we have to wait for the court to pronounce someone a thief when they steal. When they steal money. I hope you employ same naivety when someone steals from you. Any docile Nigerian can have their idea about labor. One of the easiest things to do in Nigeria is sit in their houses and blame labor for calling off strike. After subsidy was gone by Tinubu, it was said that the FG is making more money and the states are getting 3 times what they used to get as allocation. But what did they use them do? So nobody should tell us some states can't pay 100k anymore because they get excess money now. The other day, it was landlord making video of a tenant begging when she increased rent to 800k. Now, landlord slumping for inside Ogun State. As for the bandits attack, it would have been good if you had read the bad news of Benue and Niger State to the hearing of Professor Abugo, who said insecurity has reduced. You guys take it easy on Professor Abugo. Okay, so Prince Francis, Princess Precious. Oh wow, good evening to you and your astute analyst in the house. Oga, I wish those people can hear you. I still wonder why these bandits can't be curtailed, despite the huge funds dished out as security votes for over a decade now. What are the service chiefs doing? The unabated killings of our citizens is terribly sad. We can't move this country forward by changing the national anthem rather than changing the minimum wages of the suffering workers. Sammy from United States sent in that message. And Stephen from Egbeda says, something happened when you were saying that Reverend Father should sue you for peace. My Bible app just popped up with popped up with evening text to me to read. And when I opened my phone, it was John 10:10. The thieves commit but to steal, kill and destroy. And it fits perfectly with the Fulani with the headsmen right now. How do you negotiate with land grabbers who are occupying and renaming territories that the ones they've conquered, while the Abujians why the what Abujians are in IDP camp? Oh wow. I'll even ask where and I would even ask, why does the governor sue to heaven? Is it heavenly being? Forgive me, it's not a laughing matter anyway, but I appreciate you for sending your message. Odaba says, good evening, Precious and Prince. Today, if someone embezzled in millions of naira, the lawyers and SAN will be the one calling you the embezzler to fight the case for you. Corruption is, I'm not going to say that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Welcome. I'm Shegu. I'm calling from Mushin.
Shegu, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, madam, and well done. And can you help me to thank Prince for all the good job or analysis he's doing.
Thank you.
He's a man of the masses.
Thank you.
Now, I want to start from our government, from the president to those in the local government. I'm begging, because if they increase salary, the inflation will be on the high side. The first thing to do is to reduce their expenses in all aspects of their income. Those who are in government, this will be an example for the masses. If the salary is increased above the normal thing, it's the masses who are going to suffer. The landlord will increase their house rent. Everything will go up. And at the bottom line, we won't see the result of the salary increase. And for those who are not working in the government offices, what are they going to do? The private sectors. This will affect the private schools, private this, private that. What the government can do, the money that they are spending lavishly, stealing, they should repair the refinery. Yes. And the fuel is down. The electricity is down. Masses will be enjoyed their essential necessity for the masses. Shelter, food, energy. If all this medical bill of hospital bill, and low cost, that can be built low cost in assets all around Lagos State. People are still enjoying it. They are now three bedroom is 6,000. If you pay on cash immediately or instrumentally, it is 6,000 with interest. The house is your own. So the government should do what the masses will enjoy. Not all of us are not working with the government. So food, shelter, medical, everything should be subsidized. And refinery, they can repair it. You are buying petrol at a cheaper rate. Everything will be all well with the masses. This is my contribution.
Thank you so much.
But Precious, do you know, on a more serious note, that there will be a change of issues if the president can say tomorrow, bring down the price of petrol to 200 naira per liter.
All right, I'm coming. We'll get back to that. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
My name is Engineer Iskil, calling from Egbeda.
Welcome, engineer.
I really don't believe that when salaries of workers are increased.
Oh dear, apologies. So back to what you were saying.
Yes.
That the president just announced that the price of petrol will come back to 200 naira.
Yes.
It wasn't 200 actually, it was 187.
Yeah, but if you bring it to 200 from what it is now,
you think there will be total reversal?
See, a lot of things would change. That announcement, that pronouncement made on the and it will take just one pronouncement to change everything. For the fact that petrol has gone up, every other, Nigerians depend on petrol. Vulcanizers, welders, name them, everybody. Taxi drivers, ride drivers, everybody, car owners, everybody depends on the women that are bringing food and goods, food items from the villages to the city. Everybody depends on petrol. And this is where the problem is. Not be enough. It will not solve the problem because petrol will take its own share, light will take its own share, school fees will take its own, housing will take its own. So at the end of the day, like a friend of mine said yesterday, that the corruption in the civil service cannot stop so long as people are, and they must find a way to survive. And this is where the government has pushed the people to. We have lack of accountability, lack of transparency, lack of inclusiveness. These are the bane of our problem. Government at the federal must begin to act like a father that they're supposed to be.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Precious.
Sir, you're welcome.
Yeah, my sister. Only the good evening, sir. Yeah. Thank you, my brother. Madam Precious, I'm going to look at the top.
You're welcome from Ejigbo. You're welcome, Emeka.
Yeah. So these people, they call up their strike. Well, they welcome the development more. But they could have known that they could have stand on their feet to get their demand before coming up the strike. As we call it now and off, and we go there, we do not negotiate well with them. It come another trouble tomorrow. When you call people, they do not come out. You can't blame anybody. As a nation, we are not supposed to be talking about minimum wage in this era. A serious country doesn't talk about minimum wage by this era of the global time. When people they think about big in these cases, we are talking about minimum wage to set up the people that run the system, to set up their life. You people can't. While you people are mismanaging the fund on unnecessary priorities all the time without thinking. Government have to do something as a nation. If the workers are not satisfied and your country can never run well. You understand me? If your workers that run their country are not satisfied, that country is dead. And we are cutting ourselves as a nation.
Thank you.
We should learn from this. More this thing is coming, more the exposure, they are exposing themselves international, showing how weak they are. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so let me go through some of my WhatsApp messages now because I have a lot of them. Maybe after this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Precious.
Welcome.
My name is Joval.
Joval, you're welcome. Get straight.
My special greeting to the Prince.
Joval.
Prince Chilaka.
Yes.
Yes, the Prince with a precious the tooth of wisdom. I like to call you that, sir.
So you're
Precious.
adding precious to my name.
No. I like to call you Prince with
So you don't do where you did do now. They have collected your line. All right, so let me run through my order, but I think I read your message already where you say today if someone embezzled billions of naira, the lawyers. Okay, I think I took that already. Good evening, Madam Precious. My regards to your guest. He has been on point until we have a legislature or judiciary, especially completely independent of the control and appointment by the executive, will yet be swimming on corruption, going backwards in this country. Joe Sentinel said that your call got right. We ought to be observing the activities of neighbors, especially those we know that have the tendency of being violent. King from Surrey. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And this here says, good evening, Sister Precious. Precious and your guest. My name is Chinedu from Alaba International. I told you yesterday that NLC will call off the strike, and it came to pass without a concrete solution. I keep on asking God why I reincarnated in this country. I am fatherless. I sponsored myself in primary and secondary school. Myself hoping to use same method, but since this government came in 2015 till date, things are getting worse every day. Where will I put my head like this from here? Oh wow, we're hoping to do university from there. Apologies. It's sad. Good evening, Precious. This is something I have noticed since Tinubu came into power. He has never said anything concerning the killings in Benue and other parts of the north. And I want to ask if Benue State really have governor. When you catch him from Ajawa State, the governor is the Reverend Father. Kings from Ikeja says, I will disagree with your guest when he said labor should demand for what the private sector's PS wage was pegged at 30,000 naira. Some public sectors were paying way above. So if labor gets what the public sector can't pay, PS can decide what is suitable for them and pay it. Nobody considers that same labor would pay 30,000 naira for 5 years, while PS yearly increased their salaries. That's what you said. And we have to cut costs in the president, ministers and legislatures. Use the money to pay workers. That's the way forward. That's your suggestion. And good evening, Precious and the guests. The truth about the killings by the so-called headsmen is actually the hidden agenda by a certain ethnic group to grab land in the city, in the state. Thereafter, they will claim indigenship of every state. This will be followed by incessant insistence by that ethnic group to be the only governor to produce the producing ethnic group in Nigeria. Dozie Augustine sent that message. Good evening, Precious. The only achievement of the APC government for 9 years is national anthem and borrowing matters. Sent in this message from Ekoto. National anthem. Oh wow. And then this here says, Nigeria, look at this. Well, I saw that. I've seen that earning a long time ago. Don't worry about that. I'll look at that again. Dayo, you've sent your message again. Let me see if I can read it this time. You see, hope you're enjoying the heat from your government. Priscilla, greetings. NLC has woken up from their deep sleep. They ought to demand for the removal of your president. The day the subsidy was removed. As for your... You see why I will not read your message? You see why I will not read it? Your guest is spot on the fuel thing. I am a fisherman and I burn 20,000 naira fuel on daily basis on my fish farm. A kilo of fish now sells for 2,800 at the farm gate. Then when you come reach market, how much you go come buy them?
3, 5, 6.
Hey, Wilfred from Surrey says minimum wage should be at least 1 million for singles and 1.5 million for marriage. Then if you have 4 children, maybe we'll make it 6 million. He said, Priscilla, speaking about 4 children, people who are giving birth to kids these days, I feel for them. It's not easy. Because it's not easy buying baby formulas and all that right now. Chibi, somebody just takes a diaper now, he's not smiling. So he says, before you say the money is too much, how about all the money that have been stolen and embezzled by politicians and the misappropriation of funds and in their millions, billions and trillions, the ones that have been embezzled and stolen, buy SUVs of 160 million. So how dare the government say they can't pay, and those saying it is unrealistic? So it's unrealistic for politicians to steal billions and buy SUVs 160 million. Let's not be stupid in this country. Let's have sense. Okay, Solomon says NLC should have protested against the price of petrol when the removal of subsidy was announced. The price was declared with the belief that NLC will contest it, and they will both reach a compromise of 250, 300, but unfortunately NLC didn't make a move, which led us to where we are today. Okay, Mary from Okafa says Labour should not fight increment of minimum wage, but they should fight against inflation, demand for the repair of our refinery, and demand security for our farmers. If they continue to ask for waves increment, we'll end up buying a bottle of water for 1k. I know get light, I bought fuel, repair gen, they easy. Speaking about light, please, has the light been restored in your part of town? I'd really love to hear from you. So if you're calling me, kindly let me know if the light has been restored from your part of town. We'd really love to know, because we hear that grid now did somehow again. Whilst they were trying
shake a bit.
He shake. He dance small.
It gets small touch.
He dance a willow small. Hello, good evening to you. So when you call me, please do that. Hello. All right. No, we can't do this. When you call, please try as much as you can to turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear you. All right. Okay. Hello, good evening. Oh my wow. So the calls are not all right. Let's see if we can take this. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, welcome. What's your name, Sam? Where are you calling from?
My name is Chilaka. I'm calling from Turkey.
Chilaka, you're welcome. Well, I have your second brother here. I have your other brother here. You're welcome. Go ahead.
I want to discuss about a little about the killing that happened in Abuja, in Aba. And I like the governor have visited the family members of the killing soldiers, and I'm aware that it was not only the soldiers that was killed in Aba. So what happened to the civilians? What happened to the civilians? What did the governor told the family or the civilians that died? What promises did they give to them? So because I have come to understand that we talk about soldiers' life, what of the civilians that died? Are they not human beings? Are they not Nigerians?
They are, absolutely so.
Don't they have family? 5 soldiers and unknown Nigerian.
Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you.
This is something that we have to think about it. Like some people are calling for the arrest of Simon Ekpa. Did they know before they were calling for the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu? Did they know that Simon Ekpa will come out? If they arrest Simon Ekpa today in Nigeria, somebody else must come out because Biafran has not finished. And that person may be deadly than Simon Ekpa.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you
very much. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Let me go straight ahead. Please, I want to beg those who are calling this line direct, they should stop. They are the ones cutting this call, WhatsApp calls. Now,
go ahead.
Prince Chilaka.
Yes.
My point is very simple. Let me respond to what Precious. Almost everybody in Nigeria now is running high blood pressure. So that one is a fact. You don't have to argue that one at all. I said almost, I'm not saying everybody. Those who are not running it are just enjoying the special grace of God in their lives. And almost everybody in this country is already having mental issues. At the end of this program, you will tell us, protect your mental health. How much
that is, you don't know my validation. I've been
I know that when you are exiting, that's always your sign out mark. Protect Precious.
Sir?
How do we protect mental health in a country that is making people to run mentally?
That is why you have to protect it. So do you ever wonder how people like us that we consume all of this information every day cope? Because,
Precious, I praise you.
Because you know that we don't only dish out the information to you, we also take our time to dissect and analyze them to understand them properly. Sir? Sir?
If you listen when the prince was analyzing the topics you were bringing to him, you will notice that his voice went high. Imagine what in fact, Precious, let me not.
So are you saying that if we had checked his blood pressure at that time, it would have been a bit higher?
At that point, it will be high, Precious. Let me tell you, Precious, I passed where some men were listening to this program, and in fact, the analysis they were giving is even more heightened than what the prince is giving there. They were listening to you, but they were analyzing the news even more than what you're analyzing.
Wait. They were listening to my show and they were analyzing it more than we are. Oh, wow.
When Prince will say something, yes, that's what we say we are talking about. You know, that kind of something. People are running mad. The government is not making it easy for us, precious. So don't be surprised when you go to price tomato and you tell the
don't try to insult tomato. Don't try it. I bought like 4 seed for 2,000 naira. It's not even funny.
Pressure, let me not surprise you. To make a pot of stew in Nigeria is 30,000 naira. And you want to pay a minimum wage to a man with family that will feed in a month 60,500. That means you are telling him don't eat food for 1 month. Now. Somebody fainted because of landlord case, isn't it, precious?
Yes, please.
A lot of people are still going to faint.
Thank you, Jova.
Or they will end up in court.
Thank you.
I'm giving you facts, precious.
But Jova, do you have light? Just to.
Where will I get the light from, precious?
Hey,
my house is in total darkness.
Oh,
I
yeah,
cannot get well.
Sorry, come and be going. Sorry. I wanted to know if the light has been restored in your part of town.
It's not restored. Tell them.
Thank you. I've told them now.
Strike. We don't want suspension.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. You're welcome. And did you have light?
Yeah, my house does not have light, but the thief came and robbed our transformer.
Hey, robbed your transformer.
Telling you.
How long ago did this happen?
Almost a month now.
Hey, they just won't put on for perpetual darkness because is Ikeja Electric answering you people like this?
Yeah, one of your, don't let me mention it, but one of your guys in the station there lives around my area.
Ew. Thank you. Oh, yeah, go straight on. Let me hear you.
There's light in the neighborhood, there's light.
Oh, okay. All right, that's great. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I want to talk about the minimum wage.
Okay.
The analysis today, I'm crying as
your line is very, very bad. Your line is bad.
Hello?
Your line is bad. I can hear you, but your line is bad. It's not clear at all.
Okay. All
right, thank you. So let me read a few messages. This here says, reach it clear. It says, we have light in Oshodi for some 30 minutes now. Oh, wow, that's nice.
It means it's coming back.
It means it's coming back. Good evening, precious. Here in Aboru, is it Aboru Iyanakbaja? They brought the light and within 3 minutes they took it back. Mr. Bukasan from Aboru. That means
testing.
Did they test them? The light, there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That is the light that is at the end of the tunnel. They showed you that one that is at the end of the tunnel. And Dayo from Fagba says, just brought our light tonight. Okay, that is this night that we're talking now. What do you expect from this? Leave me, Dayo. You must insert something somewhere. There is light in my area, Ijigbo. I got access. My name is Delicious. Thank you, deliciously. Yes, precious. Our light have been restored in some part of Ayewole in a cotton area. Martins Juro sent in that message. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Lagos is doing well. Some parts of Lagos.
I agree. Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, precious.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Idimo.
You're welcome, Daniel. Go on.
Okay, Prince Chilaka, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, please, I want to say that I am part of those who believe that the Nigerian government can pay Nigerian workers up to that 400,000 naira per month. And the reason I say so, if you look at what the senators are taking home on monthly basis, precious, please, how many people paying 400,000 per person? How many people will want senators' money per month pay? Just divide it. So what the issue is that the Nigerian government are channeling the money to the wrong source. They borrow and they squander. So anybody telling me that Nigeria doesn't have money, I don't think that that's true. Nigeria have money, but the problem is managing the money properly. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you for your good work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so let me run through some messages because I'm getting too many good news now. So I think I want to concentrate on that. Good evening, Lady P. They brought lights 15 minutes ago. Congratulations to you. You know, they're easy to get lights for Nigeria. At least you don't have to buy fuel. You didn't know how much I bought for 80,000 naira yesterday. I bled. My heart bled. 80,000 naira because I have to buy for jerry can. and I have to buy for car.
And you had to pay extra for jerry can as well.
He paid me. It was like virtue was leaving me. You know, when you're doing something grudgingly, it's vexing you, and you're imagining what you would have done with that money. Hello, my people, has military planning to take over? I don't understand you, Harry from Ogada. Well, this says there is light in Ijegu. They brought it by 6 p.m. Congratulations. There is light at Odogunyon area. This done TP from Odogunyon. And Smart says, here in Ijibu, the light has come and gone about 4 times as we speak right now. Flush. Only you come and gone 4 times, eh? Okay. John Chuma says, no light at the end of the tunnel. Who tell you? That's the way you talk before tunnel. I don't go talk. A light here in the local wing of MM2 area. It has been restored like 15 minutes ago. Good evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm glad to hear this. You never get light to yeah, Kachiwachuku from Ajawa State. What do you do now? It'd be like say this site if I never see light. So I'd like you to give us your parting shots on the conversations on all of these issues. Your parting shots.
Each time you say give a parting shot, it makes me feel that we're going to say something that the government will listen to, something that would, create a paradigm shift in all of this. But it's not, the killings are still going on, the high cost of living, the unavailability of petrol, and all of that. It's just that, I keep saying the Nigerian people are not asking for too much from the government. All the Nigerian people are asking is for government to give them a conducive environment to live, to do their business, to prosper, and to be called humans just like any other person. So the government needs to do more. The government needs to wake up. The government needs to realize that sovereignty, at the end of the day, belongs to the people.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Legal exercise of our package. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of the show. I love you and I appreciate you. And as usual now, whatever you do, please protect your mental health. You see this your head, Don't let anything stress it because wahala, it need to finish. It comes and it goes. Try as much as you can to be deliberate about being alive and about being happy. And truth is, it's only you that can determine your happiness. It's only you that can make yourself happy. You can decide to detach yourself from the happenings around you and be deliberately and genuinely happy. You can make it happen. My name is Precious Anya. Thank you so much for being part of the show. You can catch me across our social media handles, platforms. Instagram is a Precious Anya official. Twitter is Precious_Anya. And Facebook is Precious Anya. And of course, YouTube is Precious Anya TV. Precious Anya TV. Anya is spelled E-N-Y-I. By the way, it means friend. And I'd love to be your friend till the end. I'll see you again tomorrow, God willing. Hopefully with Congressman. They'll be joining us from the United States tomorrow. I'll let you in on who he is